The 27th of November, and an absolutely vile morning in my part of the world, southwest Scotland. I thought I'd finished with steam for 2025, but 60532 Blue Peter is hauling the Edinburgh Christmas Market on the York to Edinburgh leg of its 4-day trip from London to the Scottish capital. Although the weather forecast for Scotland is atrocious, it doesn't look too bad for Newcastle. So I take a chance, pack the drone, and set off on the 3.5-hour journey. Google Earth shows a pleasant grassy area by the railway. The forecast is for quite moderate wind, so I should be able to get some good aerial footage of the Tyne bridges, and hopefully of Blue Peter about 3 p.m. A hike from Central Station across the Redheugh Bridge brings the first shock. The pleasant green area is now a muddy building site, a complete no-go area. So I seek a spot beneath the bridge to explore the possibilities. Lumo, an open-access company that doesn't yet have a presence in Carlisle, but whose trains, which I saw close up later in the day, seem to be very well patronised. Trains crossing the bridge are very slow. Ideal for the drone, but once turned to head south, they'll rapidly accelerate to mainline speeds. Cross Country, another company with no presence in the border city, and operating Class 220 Voyager trains, which we haven't seen in Carlisle for some years now. Some of their final destinations during my visit were Birmingham, Bristol, Derby, Edinburgh, Oxford, and Plymouth. It was a grey, gloomy day when I arrived. That would gradually change with the sun putting in an appearance, but the wind getting up to a fierce level. Carlisle is well served from Newcastle, with northern two-car units, 156 or 158, at roughly 30-minute intervals throughout the day. Here one sets out on its slow but scenic journey. King Edward VII Bridge was opened in 1906. Before that, all trains entering Newcastle Central had to approach from the older high-level bridge and perform a reversing manoeuvre. Although the King Edward Bridge has 4 tracks, conflicting traffic often brings trains to a halt above the river. As bridge fatigue begins to settle in, I opt for a change of viewpoint. The wind has now risen to a level which I deem unsafe on the bridge-top footpath. I nearly lose my cap on several occasions, so I head back to Central Station. This is a location I'm not very familiar with, and don't have the long-established relationship I enjoy with the staff at Carlisle's Citadel, so I opt for a short train ride to Manors, the first stop on the route north, a mere 2 minutes journey away. It should be a lot quieter there. My train.
Button aboard this Northern Train 2. Northern. The next station stop is Manors.
Arrival at Manors. The sky has cleared, and the low wintry sun is absolutely blinding, making most of the station a no-filming zone. Although this is the first time I have actually set foot on Manors Station, I remember passing through it in the 1950s and 60s when it was an important 9-platform junction station, serving both mainline trains and the Tyneside electrical services to the coast. The advent of the Tyneside Metro in 1978 saw the end of the old station. Empty stock heading for Heaton Depot. My usual filming venue of Carlisle has a steady freight traffic. There's not a lot of freight to be caught at Newcastle, so this Tyne coal dock to Linemouth power station working was a good catch. I couldn't help but remark on the level of graffiti on display, something we don't suffer from at the opposite side of the country. Clearly I'm not the only one having trouble with that low-lying sun. Up till now, I've shared the station with one other enthusiast, a local man. But now, as it approaches 3 o'clock, others begin to arrive. My quiet location begins to look slightly less appealing. However, the sun has gone behind the building, so I might yet manage to see Blue Peter approach. With the charter train due through just a few minutes after 3, at least the younger enthusiasts should still be at school, so that leaves the crowding on the platform. Blue Peter is running freely, but will turn into Heaton Depot just a couple of miles ahead of here to take water for the remainder of her journey to Edinburgh. Then I must catch the next train just a few minutes away for the through trip to Carlisle, before catching another to Dumfries. This is day one of a 4-day excursion. I hope to catch the return call at Carlisle on Sunday.